Hello YouTube, Redneck Professor here, and it's about the first dry day we've had. Been raining for about the past 4 or 5 days now, and so I finally get to get out here on the back porch and have me a smoke. And drink me a nice cold cheer wine. And I've been thinking about my granddaddy. He spent some time as a young man jabbing the life out of Nazis. That was kind of a trendy thing to do back in his day. And among the many souvenirs that he brought back from that period in his life was a bayonet, a German bayonet. And he'd use that thing around the farm, but he never would kill anything with it. Now, don't get me wrong, my granddaddy wasn't squeamish. He had no truck with lopping the heads off of chickens or slicing the throat of hogs or nothing like that. But he wouldn't use that bayonet for any of that. He only ever used the bayonet for cutting the ears of corn off of the stalks or things of that nature, disaggregating plant material, so to speak. And he might not have articulated it this way, but I think maybe there was a part of him that felt like enough harm had been done in the world by that particular blade. He didn't want to do any more. But I remember him cutting tobacco with it. Well, my granddaddy was a man when it came to tobacco. He grew his own tobacco, and he dried it himself, and he rolled it and smoked it. And he didn't cure it or anything like that, don't get me wrong. All he did was hung it up to dry, and once it got dry, he'd cut it up and smoke it. And I'm going to talk about some harsh smoking tobacco. I tried it once when I was a boy, and that was enough for me. But I remember he used this twine. He used this twine string to tie the leaves together into bundles. I guess you'd call them sheaves. Sheaves of leaves. And I don't know why I always remembered that twine that he used, but anyway, he passed on, and years went by, and I struggled and muddled on toward maturity. And 1999 came along, and by then I'd already been smoking a pipe for a couple of years, and went down to the tobacco shop and got me a couple of tins of University Flake, Peterson's University Flake. And the only reason I bought it was because University Flake is the only tobacco in the entire world that's worth smoking. And you know, anybody who disagrees with that statement is just being closed-minded and too set in their damn ways. But I bought me a couple of tins of it. And I opened up the first tin, and there was some baling twine in it. There was some of that same twine that my granddaddy used to use. It looked like a bit had been left in the tobacco, and it got pressed into the cake and cut up, and somehow put in the tin. And you know, just being a conscientious consumer, I felt like I felt like I ought to let Peterson know that I had found this bit of twine in my tobacco tin. I didn't want anything out of them, wasn't mad, you know, no harm, no foul. I still smoked the tobacco and it still tasted the same. The string in there didn't affect anything, but I felt like, you know, they ought to know I enjoyed their tobacco and I wanted other people to be able to enjoy their tobacco, and I just felt like, you know, if it happened in one tin, it might have happened in more, so I should let them know. And back in those days, a lot of y'all might be too young to remember this, but back in the late 90s, the internet was a much smaller place than it is these days. I mean, any company that was worth anything had a website, but every website had an actual email address, and if you sent an email to them, that there was an actual human being that would read that email. You know, it's not like today when they have a contact us form that you fill out and put your email address in, and you know, they have a comment section. You comment, ask your question, do whatever, you send it out across the ether, and you never hear nothing back from them. It wasn't like that back in my day, god damn it. But so I went to the Peterson website and I emailed them and just told them, you know, I just wanted y'all to know I found this bit of twine in my university flake, and there might be a flaw in y'all's quality control process you might want to look into and shore it up. And a couple days later, I got an email back from them, and real apologetic, you know, really wanting to do the right thing by me, and they said, you know, we're just terribly sorry that this happened, and if you'll send us a street address, a physical address, we'll see that we do right by you. And you know, I like I say, I didn't want anything from them. I just really emailed them to let them know. So I thought about it for a couple of days, and in the end, I decided, you know, at most they're going to send me another tin of University Flake. They've got plenty of tins. They'll feel like they've, you know, made their restitution to me, and I'll get a tin of University Flake. So sure, I'll go ahead and put them, you know, send them another email. And so I did. I sent them another email and gave them the street address where I was living at the time, and I went on about my business. And about a week later, week and a half maybe, I got a package in the mail from Captain Peterson Limited, and I immediately realized it was the wrong size and shape for there to be a tin of University Flake in there. In fact, it looked like it was about the right size for a pipe in a box. And so I opened the box, and or opened the package up, and sure enough, it was this very pipe right here, the system, Peterson system. And I just felt terrible about that, because, you know, back in those days, a tin of University Flake wasn't but $5, and they'd sent me a whole system pipe to exchange, you know, to make it right. And I just felt so terrible, because in the first place, I only emailed them because I just wanted them to know. I didn't want anything from them. I didn't feel like they owed me anything, and in the second place, even if they had owed me anything, it would have only been a tin of tobacco with no strings attached, as it were. But they had sent me this pipe instead, and I thought about sending it back to them. I kind of wrestled with it for several days, thinking about what to do. Didn't smoke the pipe. because I just felt like they'd done too much to, you know, over a bit of string. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, I wonder what they'd do if I emailed them and told them that the pipe they sent me was defective in some way. I wonder if maybe they'd upgrade me to a Sherlock. But in the end, I decided to just leave well enough alone. They felt like they'd made their restitution. I got me a new pipe, and I didn't have to pay anything for it other than the price of a tin of tobacco. And if you watched the last video I put out called the redistribution of resources and materials, you might have noticed that this was one of the pipes that got redistributed during the Great Pipe Redistribution in 1999. I'd sent this to one of my friends down in Florida. He sent it back to me. I got the package last week, and you might have noticed in that video I was a little bit confused when I first pulled this pipe out. Couldn't quite put my finger on it. Wasn't sure if it was one of mine or not, and no sooner than I had published that video than it came back to me. I thought, damn it, that was the pipe that I got for free from Captain Peterson. And so I just thought I'd make a video today to tell the story behind this pipe here. And because we all know that a pipe with a good story behind it tends to smoke a little sweeter. And so that's the story behind this Peterson system. And you know, if you don't like a good story or a sweet smoking pipe, well then to hell with you.